Even though some people don't want to admit it, the Todd Stinkston James Trash days are over. Now, let's bring on the draft. Dallas still stinks. You're by the way, kick Dingbat here, and no matter what anybody thinks, the Philadelphia Eagles are in the talent collecting stage of building a team right now. This team is adding players, adding talent, adding young players and young talent. And the days of James Trash, Todd Stinkston, bad receivers are over, and I couldn't be more happy about it. No doubt. Okay, now, before we get into it, there are two things I want to talk about. One, I'm not really sure what's going on with Isaiah Rodgers. There are now rumors out there, and I haven't seen any of this confirmed, that he possibly could get a 2-year ban. All right? Apparently, betting on your own team could cost you up to 2 years. I've heard others that say, well, he wasn't suspended until late June, so his time hasn't come yet. Although one of the players reinstated yesterday was suspended at the same time. I think the Eagles, and I think Howie, is probably pretty sure that Isaiah Rodgers will be reinstated. But if he doesn't, then I think that vastly increases the chances that the Eagles are going to have to go cornerback in round 1. Okay? I just do. It's a really interesting situation what's going on with Rodgers. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. We need him. I do not trust Devontae Maddox and his big-ass toe. I don't. And he needs to come back, Isaiah Rodgers, this year. Now, if he doesn't, well then, I think the Eagles are almost, in some ways, I won't say forced, but I'll say they're going to probably have to go out in the first or second round and draft a cornerback. Okay, and I think there are some good corners. So this is something that the Eagles definitely can do. Now, I know everybody, well, not everybody, but I know there's a lot of people that keep pushing Patrick Surtain. I don't see it happening. The only way I see Surtain getting traded is if the Denver Broncos can get up really high to go out and get a quarterback in the draft, because apparently the Broncos are trying to get a cornerback. I don't know if that could work by the Eagles trading for him, okay? Maybe if they're collecting first-round picks and then they take all these first-round picks and then move up, maybe it works that way. But I don't see any evidence in the Eagles going out there and getting Patrick Surtain Jr. I don't see it at all. Now, I don't talk really a lot about Patrick Surtain this offseason because I don't really think it's very real of a situation. Would I like Patrick Surtain with the Eagles? Absolutely. I think he's one of the best corners in the National Football League. Of course I would like him, but only if it's not at the expense of another position. Like, what I mean by that is there's so many people talking about, well, trade like A.J. Brown for Surtain. Why do I want to take one problem area and then fill it by creating another problem? To me, it's like a boat, and you got like 2 holes, and you're trying to cover the one hole, starts leaking out of the other. You let your hand go, and then you try to cover the other hole, and it starts leaking on the other side. I don't want to do it. It would have to be done in a way that I don't lose any talent and add them. All right. Now, Thomas R. Peterson did a hypothetical, right? And I'm only putting this up because trying to get some understanding of how I value him or what you guys would, value for Patrick Surtain. But this is what he's got. He's got Denver gets the 22nd pick overall and the 53rd overall pick. The Eagles would get Patrick Surtain, would give Denver enough ammo to move up from 12 to 3 for a quarterback. Pound Eagles. So that could be the way Denver may do something like that. is if they could get another first-round pick and to move up. Would I do number 22 and 53 for Patrick Surtain? I probably would. Yes, I would. And the reason why I would do it is because he's young. He's still young. He came out of the same draft as Devontae Smith. But I don't see this happening. But, we'll see. I do think that cornerback has to be in play, especially if this Isaiah Rodgers situation doesn't work out. It's going to be interesting. Now, excuse me. As far as this A.J. Brown stuff, I am glad to finally put this to rest forever, at least for the rest of this year. I think it's over, okay? A.J. Brown isn't going anywhere. Like I said, there's no chance he's not going anywhere, and he shouldn't. The Swoop Scoops, check them out on Twitter, report the Pound Eagles have no intentions of trading superstar wide receiver A.J. Brown, as they have, quote, shut down all reports of trading Brown. Albert Breer had to say this on the rumors of the Eagles trading A.J. Brown. Philadelphia has gotten inquiries about A.J. Brown. They have shut them all down and told other teams he is not available. And that's exactly what you would think. I have no doubt that other teams probably call and inquire about him. Why not? You just traded or you just signed Devontae Smith. I could see it with the stuff that went on at the end of the year. But it never made sense. It was always stupid, and it shouldn't happen. All right? I am not ready to go back to the Todd Stinkson, James Trash, where Greg Ward Jr. is your leading wide receiver. Not that I have anything wrong with or anything against Greg Ward Jr. He just shouldn't be my number one wide receiver. I'm not going back to that. We've got 2 number 1 wide receivers. We've got to use them. And I'll say this. I believe A.J. Brown is a great Eagle. I believe A.J. Brown went out there last year, talked to the media, after he wouldn't talk to the media, but he went up there, he told them what was going on. Nobody believed him. And I think that A.J. Brown is fine. And I can't wait to see what he does this year. So we can put that to rest. Thank God, because I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm much calmer than I was yesterday. That's for sure. Where's my drink? I need a drink. I did lose my voice because I was yelling so much about the damn A.J. Brown trade. I think I was yelling in my sleep. My wife woke me up. I'm like, A.J. Brown's like a trade. Oh, stop putting the Joe Boo curse on us, Mark Holmes. Things like that. So, yeah, A.J. Brown's not going anywhere. Albert Breer just exposed it. And my only fear about the A.J. Brown thing, in all seriousness, is that these negative stories are like planting the seed for something to happen in the future, because he just gets like beaten down by this. I just am so sick and tired of this whole thing. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. And to me, as far as I'm concerned, this is a dead issue now. It's dead. A.J. Brown ain't going nowhere. Okay, now we can focus on the draft and what we need to do in the draft. ESPN, they had a mock trade where they had the Eagles actually moving up, which is where I think the Eagles are going to go. I think the Eagles are going to move up between 15 and 20. That's what I think they're going to do. What will they draft? Who knows? It could be a cornerback now. Who would I like? I like Quinyon Mitchell, but that's just me. Here's what ESPN said. The Seahawks would get the Eagles' first-round pick and second-round pick, and the Eagles would get a first-round pick, number 16, and a third-round pick, number 81. So that would be the trade. So the Eagles would trade a first and a second, and then move up and get a first and a third. The 53rd pick is your second-round pick. I might do this deal. I actually kind of like this because, yes, I'm losing a second-round pick, but I'm still adding a third-round pick. Okay, so I'm still getting the same amount of players. I'm just moving back Meanwhile, I'm going up to 16. That should leave the door open to get one of the corners that you know is out there. So a trade like this is something I absolutely like. Now, I don't know for sure that they're going to get a corner. I think a lot of it does depend on what goes on with Isaiah Rodgers. But I will say this. I do think that it's going to be either a offensive lineman, an edge rusher, or a corner. I think those are the most likely three positions that they take in the first round. But we're going to see. It's going to be really, really interesting. And we'll be talking about it tonight on the Philly Shakedown podcast. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it. Now, I'm going to answer this one more time, then no more. But I do get people asking me, what would it take for Philly 500 to trade A.J. Brown? And it would probably take $25 million of cash directly into my account. That would be about it, because I have no interest in doing it. But if the Eagles were to do something like that, the only way I could actually be even a little bit content with it, you'd have to get that third overall pick from the Patriots somehow and get Marvin Harrison Jr. If you couldn't do that, then to me, what the hell was that? If you couldn't do that, it's not worth it. And to be honest with you, I don't feel like it's worth it anyways. We got A.J. Brown. We got Devontae Smith. We got Saquon Barkley. We got Jalen Hurts. We got a killer offensive line. And it's time to go to work. It's time to double moonwalk these asses. Denzel Washington.